And welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel, the channel where I like to talk about properties for sale in Italy, but also all we have to know about the life in Italy. So let's start today, and today I want to bring you to a town in Apulia Region, Brindisi province, and this town is called Tuturano. So, Tuturano, Brindisi province. Now, Tuturano in 2001 was around 3,000 inhabitants. So, I guess, anyway, we are under 20,000 inhabitants. But in today's video, I want to bring you and show you in particular one property that I found quite interesting. So, let's start. Let's zoom in here with the location just to show you where we are. The advantages, let's say, of this location. Now, from today, I want to show you the property that I find very interesting for all the reasons that I will mention during the video. Now, for example, here we have Tuturano, and I see it as a very strategic location. So, because we are very close to Brindisi, Brindisi has an airport, all right. We are nearly, let's say, 10 kilometers from Brindisi. Then we have bigger towns around, uh, like Mesagne, San Pietro Vernotico, and we are also close, very close to the sea. Then we have Squinzano. Anyway, it's a kind of strategic position. Let's zoom in a bit more. As you can see, we are very close to Brindisi. Okay, now, my friends, before I go into Idealista, please put like and subscribe if you like this type of videos, share the videos, and also, if you want, you can join my Facebook group called Italy, a Place to Love, where we reach 714 members. But let's go on Idealista and let's type Tuturano. Now, Tuturano, Brindisi province, Valle d'Itria. Okay, now it says, one second. So it says that we have 71 houses and flats for sale. But first of all, I want to exclude the auction properties. All right. Okay. I don't find convenient to buy auction properties. Maybe I've already done videos, but maybe I will make another one. The reasons why I never buy through the auctions, in particular in the south of Italy. Then, okay, let's go from the lowest price. And then I want to bring you straight away to the property that I found quite interesting. Okay. Now, as we can see, we have one for 25,000 euro that is in need of renovation. Then we have one for 45,000 euro. This one for 50,000 euro. But the one that I really found interesting in this area are these two properties, okay? One for 57,000 euro and one for 63. Now, I have to say that today I decided to show you these properties for this property for sale for 63,000 euros. First of all, the price is already partially dropping, so the initial price was 77,000 euro. We are talking about 4 rooms, so quite big house, 130 square meters, 63,000 euro. So let's go and let's start talking about this property. Now, I want to read quickly the description of the house, just to let you understand. So, Tuturano via Stazione. Then, at the end of the once I show you the property, I will bring you to Google Street View to show you the property. Extremely interesting location. So, via Stazione 130, independent ground floor apartment with courtyard. So I like because is a let's say is an independent house and it has its own courtyard, 4 rooms on the ground floor with 3 bedrooms, living room, dining room, kitchenette, fireplace, From here, access to the private courtyard. Then there is also a terrace. They are not mentioning the terrace here. Single bathroom with bathtub. Yes, let's say the only thing is that there is only one bathroom. Better to have two, but anyway, for me it's fine. And let's say this is the type of property that I would go myself if I have to buy, let's say, in Apulia region. And if I'm thinking that potentially this property can increase the value, I'd say I would go for this one. But let me finish to read. So, single bathroom with bathtub. The window frames are made of wood, as are the internal doors. The basic features: we have detached house, for one floor, 130 square meters built, 4 rooms, one bathroom, good condition, individual heating, natural gas, air conditioning, and private garden. Okay, there's no garage, but I see there's plenty of parking space, for example, in this area. But so let's go and let's have a look at the pictures. Let's focus on the house, and I tell you why I like this house. Now, first of all, this the type of house that I would go for. If I have to invest, I'm planning anyway to buy. Actually, I have to make a video about. There was a very interesting comment under my yesterday's video saying where would I invest, and now today I'm showing you the type of property, how much I would spend, and so mainly the typology of the property that I would go for. Okay, so basically here we have a courtyard, which I kind of like the idea, always like the idea to have a courtyard. Obviously here is not look after. We have a fruit tree, which I cannot really understand what type of fruit tree is, but I see anyway that is an interesting space that once it's clean, once it's put in order, you know, there is also a partially covered courtyard where you can put your wood for the fireplace, use it, maybe you can even make a little shed here. Okay, then here we have another picture of the courtyard with the stairs leading to the terrace, external stairs. Okay, now here we have the house from outside, and from outside I say the house looks absolutely in order. So this type of house, let's say this, very important for me, I would buy and I wouldn't invest not even €1 in the first 3, 4, 5 years since I buy the property. This is the type of property that I would buy and I would use it as it is. Even if there are things that I don't like, I don't care. I'll see after 3, 4, 5 years if potentially this house might be in need of partial renovation because it might increase the value of the property. If the value of the property doesn't increase, I would do only what is strictly necessary. And for me, in this property, everything looks fine and in order. I could live myself in the house as we see. Okay, so basically here we have the hall. I see a hall that is completely in order. Behind us, there is the entrance door. Anyway, I have high ceilings. I love high ceilings. The tiles of the floors, bright and white. I like when they are white and bright, simply because uh, it shows like there is more light. Okay, now here we are in the dining room. Okay, so they say there is a kitchenette, a dining room, and a living room plus the bedrooms. So for me, that's fantastic. I have 3 different spaces, one for cooking, one for eating, and another one for relaxing moments like a living room. Here we see that it's very bright because they have all these windows here. Okay, then we have the door leading to the courtyard. Plus, we also have already air conditioning. So zero works to do for me for this type of house. I would keep this floor, I would keep the tiles. I see that the electrical implant is not very old, so it's functioning, it's working. Zero works here. Okay, then we have another picture from outside. Now, here we are in, I guess, one of the two bedrooms. I'd say this could be the master bedroom. As we see here in the hall, on the right, there is the entrance door. We see by the window that is facing the road. Everything looks in order. I see the radiator, so there is individual heating system, which I'm always in favor. Again, electrical implant, I see that is not too old, so is not in need of a replacement. Window frames, also fine. I tell you, for me, this house, 100%, I would leave as it is. Obviously, we all have different standards. You might like it, you might not. Then it's up to us. But personally, if I can get this house for, let's say, 60,000 euro cash, and the seller is accepting this offer, I would go straight away. Okay, so anyway, I go back 1 second. Basically, here we have, I call it master bedrooms, but they put two separate single beds, which anyway can always be fine. But again, the house is in order. Then here we are in the second bedroom. Again, what I can say, doors are fine, ceilings are high. I see everything in order. If they leave the furniture, I would even keep the furniture, for example. I would keep this bed, I would keep this wardrobe. Nothing wrong with these things. I see now, sorry. Now, there is also a window here. Not always easy to find properties in this area with all the bedrooms with a window. Sometimes they have, or they don't have windows, or they have very high windows, which I don't like. So this has a window. At least I have natural light going into the room. Okay, this is for me is a perfect bedroom. Okay, now we have another view of the hall, quite spacious and long hall with two doors at the entrance, which it could help anyway also to save for the heating system, because two doors are keeping anyway the heat inside the house. The tiles of the floor are in a very good order, and if they leave me this furniture, I would keep it. Then I can also see here at the bottom on the right, I can see the radiator. So there are radiators in all the rooms. We have two radiators in the hall, each radiator a radiator per each bedroom. Then we have also this little arch here to divide the spaces, which are fine. Okay, then at the end of the corridor, we find the living room, which for me is perfect. Okay, it's the only room probably without a window, but it's kind of bright. I see even without a window. Obviously, I will show you later in the floor map. Anyway, we have a quite big radiator. Everything looks in order. Not the newest furniture on the planet, but I would keep it if the seller is leaving. Okay, the kitchen is old, fine. Maybe is the only thing that I might say, okay, I might get a new kitchen, but personally, in the beginning, I would even keep this one. Now, this is a kitchenette. What I like of this kitchenette is that you can also have a meal here. It's not only a kitchenette where you cook, and then you have to dine into the dining room, but here, let's say the dining room is if you have guests. If you don't have guests and you are just in two or three, you can even have lunch or dinner here in the kitchen. Then here we are in what they call the dining room, and also we see that there is an extra couch. So they also made this space not only dining but also living space. But we see that there is also the living room here. Then we have the fireplace. I would keep these tiles. They are not broken, they are fine. And then here on the left, we see the kitchenette. Anyway, it depends where you want to dine. Maybe you can remove this couch simply to have this space, because if you already have a living room, but you know, it's always nice to have an extra couch. Okay, another picture from outside, another picture of the courtyard. Okay, plenty of weeds, enough to cut, you know. I see some fruit trees here. Maybe this is looks like a pomegranate, don't know. Okay, here we are in the bathroom. Bathroom for me is also fine. Even if the bathroom is a bit old. Okay, I go back. Okay, then here we are in the road of the house itself. But the house for me is fine for the strategic location. I really see a strategic location in this town. We are so close to Brindisi. You can commute easily, less than 10 kilometers, less than 10 kilometers to the beach, to the sea, then big towns around. And I already said this. So, anyway, about the bathroom, I have to say, it's not the best bathroom I ever seen, but it's working. I see a big bath tube. I won't make it a new one. I would just do a very good cleaning of this bathroom, and I would use it as it is. What I like is that is a spacious bathroom. It's not these type of small bathrooms that we see sometimes in the houses. Now, it's a quite spacious bathroom. Okay, and then here we have, these are not the views, these are just pictures of the town of Tuturano. Again, here they show you the floor map. So you have Lecce, which is not far, Taranto, a bit further, Brindisi, very close. Then we are all too close to technically all the strategic location with beautiful sea, like Porto Cesareo and many other destinations. We are also not far from Bari, because between Brindisi and Bari is less than 1 hour driving, maybe 1 hour driving. So we have the convenience of the airport, the convenience of the airport. It looks like a beautiful town. We are talking about a town that is less than 5,000 inhabitants. Okay, now let's have a look at the floor map. So here at the bottom of the picture, we have the entrance, the hall, the two bedrooms, one on the left, the second one on the left. Now this is PL, this is an open space. That's why the second bedroom has a window, which I find very convenient. It's an extra outdoor space that you can use, even if you have walls around, but doesn't matter, you have natural light. I don't really need to have a view. Consider that most of the towns in the Salento and Brindisi area, Valle d'Itria, don't have a view because this area is quite flat. Then we have the living room, then we have the dining room, Tinello, then we have the kitchen, the bathroom, and the courtyard. For me, this house is simply perfect. Now, I want to see here, they're also showing, let's view in full screen. Basically, I will share the link under the video and you can have a look about this house. For me, it's simply perfect. Now, I'm not gonna enter into the bedrooms. I already show you. Let's follow a few steps. Here, we see the other bedroom. For me, this is the perfect house. I'm buying for nothing. I'm talking about 500 euro per square meter. For me to buy a house in this area for 500 euro per square meter, a house in this condition, for me is the perfect investment. Then it doesn't mean that I'm gonna make a profit during the years, but I'm buying a very good property for simply nothing. Because for me, a property like this at 500 euro per square meter, it's simply amazing. Okay, so here we have the living area, which I like. So here we have the bathroom. Here as you see, there is this little courtyard that on the left has the window of the bedroom. As we see, there is a kind of wall, but doesn't matter. You can use it as a storage place. Then, okay, we saw the bathroom there. As you see, you can use it as a storage place where to keep the bins for the rubbish. But I say this house, for me, is in a perfect order. Then here I'm into the dining area with this kind of veranda view, with the couch, with the air conditioning, with the radiator, tiled and everything in a perfect order. And then here we have the view to the courtyard with some fruits. These probably are mandarins or oranges because I see one on the floor. And then we have this kitchenette, let's say, where it's also possible to have maybe the only room that I would consider maybe to make us to put the furniture in a different way, simply to give a bit more space to the table. Okay, here, simply because with the hob here, it looks like you don't really have big space for it looks like a single person was living here. But for me, this house, anyway, my consideration, this house is the perfect house. Okay, now, before I close the video, I just want to bring you to the Google Street View. So the address is Via Stazione 130. Let's go here, Via Stazione 130, Tuturano, Brindisi. Okay, as we can see, what is important to see here is that anyway, Tuturano is a quite small town and I like it. Again, back to the fact that we are very close to the sea, we are very close to Brindisi, and we are on one of the main roads leading to the station, because anyway, Tuturano has a train station. All right, then let's zoom in more. Okay, this is the property. Okay, Via Stazione 130. Now the quality of the picture is not the best, but as you see, there is also the terrace, the courtyard. And now let's see here on Google Street View, we have houses around 130. I'd say this is the house. Okay. Now let me go back on Idealista just to see if it's matching the picture. Yes, it's totally matching. So this is the outdoor area. The outdoor area. So as we can see, I like this property. This is the type of property because anyway, I have my idea of investment. This is exactly the type of property that I would go for. And then if we lead into this direction, we go to the center of the town. And if we go into this direction, we go to the sea direction, to the train station direction, and also in the direction to drive to Brindisi. Okay, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I don't want to make very long videos anymore. I will focus just in what is the best deal for me, for Antonio. So I hope you have enjoyed. Please put like and subscribe, and I'll see you here on Italy, a Place to Love YouTube channel, Properties for Sale in Italy, to my next video. Bye!